Lushaka is truly a fascinating place. It is the homeworld of the former trailblazer and mechanic of the Astral Express, Mikhail Legwork. And although we know very little about it, it is a planet that holds infinite potential in storytelling. And I do not mean it in a hyperbolic way. I genuinely am saying it is infinite. We know of it as an oceanic planet, one that is fully enveloped by the waves that once separated land dwellers and aqua sprites before the Stellaron crisis took place. Both of these life forms used to be at war with each other, considering themselves hunters while looking at the opposition as prey. In this fight for survival of the fittest, there would be no end in sight. That is, until the cancer of all worlds manifested itself under the wishes of an aqua sprite that had just lost their home. Meteors began to fall from the skies and magma began to rise from shattering reefs. This caused sea levels to rise to the point that every landmass within this world was consumed by the planet's waters. This would seem like a blessing for the aqua sprites, but it too ended up being a curse for them. With this new environment, the water pressure levels rose significantly, making it impossible for aqua sprites to survive in their homeland. As such, they were forced to live closer to the sea surface, near the land dwellers that they once despised for so long. But all of that now was irrelevant. Both sides had been heavily affected by this disaster. History of bloodshed, war, and chaos all ended up being consumed by the rising waters. At that point, all that mattered to them was survival for both species, and as such, they finally learned to coexist and tolerate each other, leaving themselves to their own devices. It is honestly because of this new environment that was created after the Stellaron crisis that I believe that Lushaka holds infinite storytelling potential and would be able to showcase amazing, terrifying stories within it. There is a beauty in the sea waters, just as there's horror lurking underneath the depths of the ocean. So, with all that being said, let us see why Lushaka holds an unimaginable depth. During our journey following the Trailblaze, we encountered many cosmic horrors. From Borisons that would hunt Foxians and drink their blood, to learning that the remnants of propagation still exist in this day and age, long after the events of the Swarm disaster took place. Like, we literally got consumed by a gigantic being so massive that we didn't even realize that we had been eaten. And there are still many more things like that are waiting for us in the infinity of space, such as Emperor Rubert's anti-organic equation meant to eradicate non-mechanical life forms. There are also Leviathans, which are beings theorized to exist before the Aeons themselves. And beyond that, there's more for us to know that we haven't even learnt of yet. So you might be wondering, why am I focusing specifically on Lushaka? Thalassophobia, the fear of deep bodies of water and whatever may lie underneath them, is the reason why Lushaka sounds like such a fascinating world to explore. We have seen how terrifying space and the universe can be, so getting to explore a place such as Lushaka would be the perfect opportunity for us to experience a new sense of dread. In real life, the ocean is home to familiar faces to us, such as whales, salmons, crabs, and even stingrays, which we have seen within Starreal. Yet, as we venture deeper into the ocean's depths, we begin to find stranger and scarier creatures. Soulfish and cookie cutter sharks are some that come to mind in the tamer side of things. But if we were to go even deeper, we can find sea creatures like anglerfish, frilled sharks, and even gulper eels, which in all honesty seem like they are literally made out of nightmare fuel. And these are the creatures that we know of in today's day and age, where we have only explored roughly 20% of the ocean's depths. The remaining 80% is still unknown to us, and could house even more strange and terrifying creatures, or even literal sea monsters. Due to the high pressure seen in deeper waters, sea creatures appear to be exposed to deep sea gigantism in order to survive the harsh conditions, meaning that the deeper you are, the bigger you will be. So, knowing that information, imagine what deep sea horrors would await for us in Lushaka, a planet that is essentially 100% water, with a massive sea level increase, and most importantly, with the remaining effects of a Stellaron crisis. We've seen what it has done in Belobog, we've seen how it transformed the people and life forms within it. So surely, something must be living within the depths of those waters. After all, as poetic as it sounds, life finds a way. But the question really is, are we willing to find out what lurks in the depths? Conventional sea monsters and cryptids don't have to be the only thing that reside within Lushaka. After all, there are many more mythical creatures within several mythologies that could also live within this planet. Creatures such as merfolk, the Loch Ness Monster, hydras could easily exist within this universe and would be fitting perfectly in place. Heck, we can even have creatures that developed wings that are able to fly around the place because they're not able to travel between one place to another if it wasn't for the fact that they were able to fly. As a matter of fact, the reason why I want to mention just flying entities is because sirens are actually half bird, not half fish. That is a common misconception in the Greek mythology. But that being said, there are two creatures that I would specifically love to hear about within Lushaka that I hope that they exist, but this is more wishful thinking than anything. The first one being Kelpies. Kelpies are these sort of shape-shifting water spirits from Scottish folklore that often appear as horses near rivers and lakes. And although they're quite beautiful in nature, they are very dark because their main role is to lure people onto their backs and then dive them and drown them underwater. That would be too dark for Starreal, but having a method of transportation via Kelpie would be incredibly cool in my opinion. The second creature is more wishful thinking than anything because if they did, I feel like they would collide with the lore, like the already existing lore of Starreal, and that is just a Leviathan. Mainly because these are known to be colossal sea serpents from biblical lore, and they have immense amounts of raw power, and they can cause primordial chaos all over the place. At the end of the day, the ocean is just so vast that almost anything could happen. And because of that, I am honestly looking forward to just Lushaka in general, any kind of pieces of lore that might exist, especially because near the end of the Trailblaze mission in Penacony, we learned from Himiko that the population in Lushaka has completely changed. It no longer is the same that was once the native of old Lushaka, and it is likely due to evolution in that regard, it would be interesting to see how the new wave of people from Lushaka are able to exist in this new world and how they've been able to thrive or the struggles that they're currently facing. I personally would just adore to see that. So, before we continue on this video, I want to say real quick thank you guys very much for helping us reach 3,000 subscribers. It genuinely means a lot to me. We've been on a really awesome journey throughout this year, and it makes me very happy. As always, if you enjoy this sort of content, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. It's free. It only takes a second. And if you ever change your mind or you just feel like I'm no longer the kind of content creator for you, you're more than welcome to unsubscribe. I want to be able to improve the quality of my content through every single video, and I hope that I'm able to deliver. And if I don't, then it's perfectly reasonable for you not to want to stick around. I really just hope that I can improve, though. Anyways, I also want to add that, as you might have been able to tell for this video, I wanted to be a little bit more somber than I usually am with my videos, mainly because it is currently spooky month. So there was no way that I wouldn't do something related to that, and that really is one of the reasons why we ended up landing into like the cosmic horror of things, as well as like the fears of the underwater. Genuinely speaking, it just like appeared from some of the content that I've been watching. I'm like, you know what, that would be a cool video to make about like Lushaka. I keep calling it Lukasha by accident in my mind. No, Lushaka. So yeah, no, like it's just been great, and I wanted to like share that with you. So yeah, with that being said, let us go through the last chapter per se of this video. The last thing that I want to talk about for this video that I would like to see in Lushaka would definitely be bioluminescence. For those that don't know what it is, it's essentially a sort of light that living beings are able to emit from their body, whether it be to communicate, to hide, or to just emit signals of danger between one another. It is something that looks absolutely stunning. I don't know what it is about it, but just seeing these bright blue colors glow in absolute darkness is kind of just soothing. It is relaxing. And I think that this kind of atmosphere would be one that I would want to definitely see within Star Rail. To a certain extent, we are able to see it in Star Rail through a child's dream. We can see some whales, and if I recall correctly, maybe even some stingrays just floating around, doing a beautiful light show with their own bodies, illuminating the place and making it look not only that much more ominous, but to a certain extent, beautiful. A child's dream is both terrifying in the way that it displays itself, yet there's something just relaxing about seeing those entities floating around without any care in the world. I don't know, there's just something that I genuinely did enjoy whenever I was traveling through that location. So, in my mind, I feel like that might be actually linked to Mikhail. That this is something that he's used to seeing, he's used to enjoying, and that is why it was within a child's dream. To a certain extent, I would like to say this. I would like to say the same about Sleepy, given its deformed shape being kind of similar to that of a sea monster. But I don't think that would actually apply. I also wanted to for a second say that like its lights could be like refers to bioluminescence, but I don't think that's the case. I just wanted to bring that up because I felt like dumb as I was talking about it for a second before I realized now I'm like talking a lot of shit. So yeah. With all that being said, that is essentially the video. So, yeah, first of all, I want to say thank you for watching all the way up to this point. It's essentially been 15 minutes, and I appreciate every single moment that you have shared with me of your time. Uh, I want to admit that like it feels weird that this video is a lot shorter than I usually make my videos. But at the same time, I did try to plan things out a little bit better and try to concise things a little bit better, as well as like this is kind of like a different idea to what I'm used to making, but it's still within the line of what I'm used to making. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to see how this properly ends up, and I'm hoping that you guys will be able to enjoy it. Like I said, this video was mainly done for spooky season because I wanted to make something that was a little bit scary for, given the fact that it's spooky season. And yeah, as always, if you enjoy this sort of content, I want to see more, please feel free to hit that subscribe button. It's free, it only takes a second. And if at any point you don't want to be subscribed anymore, you don't have to, because you can just click that button again. I'm not gonna elaborate on my whole spiel again, because I already said it earlier in the video. But I do want to add something real quick, and it is that one of the reasons why I decided to make this video, and honestly one of the biggest inspirations for this video, is because I found this YouTube video from a guy that I tend to watch from time to time. He's someone that does Legends of Runeterra content, the League of Legends card game, and he made a second channel called Cosmic Hour. In there, he does talk a lot about cosmic horror, a lot of things that are very just, I don't know how to say, but it's really cool, and it's really interesting, and it's really thought-provoking. Especially the one that he released, I believe it was yesterday, at the time that I'm finishing recording. No, it was today, in the moment of me recording this. And it is about living planets, which, in all honesty, the first thing that came up into my mind was that planet that Yaosher revived, which I need to look into the lore of that. But regardless, it's very interesting. Would highly suggest you guys go check out his channel if you enjoy this sort of long form content kind of videos. And specifically, this video was inspired because of his video about the fears of the depths, and I think his narration is super cool and a lot better than what I can do. So no, legitimately speaking, go check out that video. It's amazing. With all that being said, thank you very much for watching all the way up to this point. I'll see you on the next one. Have a great rest of your day, night, morning, whatever time zone applies to you all. Bye.